You know, Orson Welles, the great Orson Welles, had this movie called The Magnificent Ambersons. And it was well received and all that kind of stuff. But I believe it ended up being like a movie that was under 90 minutes.
It's butchered.
Orson Welles, what's that?
It was butchered. It was cut to shreds.
Oh, yeah. Yep. But the critics ended up loving it. They did like it. But see, what happened was he made a movie that was like 2 hours. And the problem was he didn't have final cut. And the studio, RKO, took it and ripped like 43 minutes out of it and burned it. It was gone. Well, now, this is interesting there. There's a poster of the movie. This is kind of interesting here now. An AI company that's backed by Amazon is going to use AI to restore those lost 43 minutes. The article's here in the Hollywood Reporter, where they write, Orson Welles' lost movie will use AI to reconstruct the missing 43 minutes. Says the Amazon-backed firm Showrunner's the name of the company, led by Edward Sachi, is using the film as a test case for how Hollywood can overhaul production. The results won't be commercialized. The tech giant has not obtained the rights from Warner Brothers or Concord. All right. So the first thing that we should probably mention here is this, is they don't have the rights to do this. They don't have the rights to do anything with this. They have not gotten permission from the studios at hand. None of that kind of stuff. They're simply saying they're going to take techniques and try to rebuild those missing 43 minutes. And Rob, it sounds like they're going to utilize a lot of traditional techniques in doing it as well. Like, from what I understand, it looks like what they're going to do is they already had somebody like overseeing building 3D models, like traditional CGI building 3D models of the sets and getting actors to do certain body motions and stuff like that. And they're going to use components, more traditional components. It's weird, Rob, using CGI to build a 3D set as a traditional method. I guess now that's a traditional method. Times have changed, but they're gonna mix in some traditional methods with rebuilding this. Now, they say they're gonna then use AI to really completely re-put together this whole thing. And this picture here, by the way, that we see here, this is one of the frames. This is one of the artificial AI generated frames reconstituting the lost footage. Rob, when I read this story, I'm reminded of a joke that Patton Oswalt once said in talking about making boner pills for men over 80. Patton Oswalt said, "Science, we're all about the coulda and not about the shoulda." And I wonder, is this, like, I look at this and I think that is amazing. Like, it's fascinating what they're able to do. It is crazy that they're able to dig up, what footage that was lost to us forever and recreate it, hopefully in a true way, all that kind of, that's amazing. But should they be doing that? Should they be going in, should they open the lid to the Ark of the Covenant? Should they go in? Should they be doing this kind of stuff? Now, the legal side part aside, like the fact that they don't have permission from the studio, that simply means they can't release it or do anything with it. They say, Rob, they're going to take this and present it to the studio to show them this is the type of stuff we can do. So it's not the legal question, but rather more the artistic. Because, Rob, we are always pursuing new tools to do our jobs better or faster or more efficiently. We do, we just made the joke, Rob, about the fact that, we now call building a 3D model set in CGI the traditional way. It wasn't that long ago that some people consider that blasphemy, but now it's just a standard part of the business. But I kind of struggle with this a little bit. Rob, what is standing out to you about the story, and where do you sit right now in that debate of coulda versus shoulda on this? How do you feel?
Well, I think what they're really trying to do is they're trying to see what the process will be to create an entirely AI-generated film, soup to nuts, including AI-generated stars. Can you make a completely AI-generated movie that human beings can watch, that's indistinguishable from, say, any movie in the theater today. I mean, that's where they're going, because you'll be able to get rid of the process of making films that's incredibly expensive and time consuming, and be able to create films that are using AI completely generated soup to nuts. I understand that impulse. And they'll eventually be able to do it. And they'll probably be able to make it indistinguishable from a real movie. And the fact that they're rebuilding The Magnificent Ambersons is interesting, because of course it's a very famous movie in Wells's career, because it was taken away from him and it was cut to ribbons, and it wasn't the successful film that everybody hoped it would be, specifically not Wells. But at the end of the day, I think John, we're going to see this happening more and more. Yesterday, there was a story in the Hollywood Reporter how an AI company is going to launch a podcasting network that's all full of AI podcasters, and they're going to make podcasters. And I'm like, why? The funny thing is I understand why they're doing it, but the real question that we're all going to have to ask ourselves is, do we want to watch movies that are completely AI generated? Is that something? I mean, I've always believed that philosophically and probably emotionally, and something to do in our subconscious, we know when you watch a motion picture that those are real human beings on the screen. We know they're playing roles that they're not real. Everything is all made up. But there's something about seeing the twinkle in the eye of another human being that makes movies so fascinating. When you saw the human face, like we can only ever see human faces the way we're locked into seeing them. But you put a human face 40 feet up on the big screen, which is giant. You look into the eyes of your favorite movie star. That's something we can only see in the movies. Will we feel the same way knowing the human beings that look completely photorealistic, that are completely, absolutely looking real and sounding real? If we know they're not real, will we still want to watch movies? Or is there something in our subconscious, even animated films? We know that animated movies have the voice of real people. What's going to happen when animated films are entirely done in AI? Those will be the first to fall. And are we going to watch them? That's what I think. This is all part of it too, because if the answer is yes, why make movies anymore without just why not just generate everything in AI? And that's going to be, John, is going to be the question about art in the rest of the 21st century. There's a school of thought that says, show your work. I first heard this from a musician on YouTube, that she studied music her whole life, and now somebody can generate a song at the push of a button. But that doesn't mean you can stand up in front of an audience, play a guitar, and capture an audience with your music. And she said she wanted to adopt the philosophy of show your work. Well, with filmmaking right now, people can show their work, whether they're doing effects with computers, whether they're on set shooting in front of cameras. We can see the work that's being done. But when you can't, will people still want to watch? And that's what I think they're testing with this.
Yeah, and I think there's a line, right? I think there's a line. Like, for instance, it wasn't me making a choice. It was just, I'm on YouTube a lot. I watch a lot of YouTube in my living room, stuff like that. And I'll come across some interesting looking videos and click. But my mind has not gotten to the point that as soon as I click on the video, if I can tell right away this is an AI generated video, like it's not a real person reading it, it's not whatever, which YouTube is now flooded with this garbage, I instantly turn it off. No, but at the same time, I believe AI, I don't see any problem with somebody using AI as a tool, right? As a tool to help you improve something or whatever. But this whole thing where it just does everything for you, it doesn't have a soul. It just doesn't have anything there for that.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections. And if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Now, one of our viewers in the live chat brought up an argument I hear a lot, saying they should be using CG artists to make those rooms, to make environments, to make that kind of stuff, instead of taking their jobs away and giving it to AI. Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second. When those roles first started coming up, the CG artists building environments, the same debate was around, because now 2 kids in a room with their computers could take away the job of 40 crewmen building sets. So it's just a part of the evolution, right? Like we're fighting for the jobs of the CG artists, and of course we should. I have a CG background. I worked with a CGI company. I have a huge love for CG artists. I'm just saying this as an example, but let's not forget that when those jobs started to become a normal thing, there was a lot of other people that put out of work, and it took a lot of other people's work away. So is that just a part of the evolution of how tools evolve, or is it a bigger philosophical question? It's one I don't pretend to have the answers to, though, Rob.
I think the difference is, and as you eloquently pointed out, everything to this point has been a tool that people can use. What
Right.
AI is doing, and I think that people don't quite grasp this, is it eliminates humanity entirely. Like, other than the fact that somebody's got to write a prompt, but even you're going to get to the point where you're going to ask AI to write a prompt, then AI is going to generate a script. Then that script is going to be generated and turned into a movie or a TV show by AI. And there will be no human interaction in the creation of it at all. Zero. And we're there. Music, you now that somebody can write a prompt, you can write a prompt and get a song, but nothing in that song was generated by a human being. That's right here, right now. And what you can do is, when you have your AI agent that controls your life and scheduling things, you could say, oh, by the way, can you please make me a Star Wars movie that I'd like to watch tomorrow at 2 p.m, and make it set in this era and have these characters, or better yet, AI choice, just make me a Star Wars movie by 2 o'clock tomorrow. And you'll get an entire movie that's scored, that stars 20 different characters with AI voices, with people that don't exist. And we're already there. And I don't think people grasp it. I still have people coming at me, John, going, well, you're eliminating people's jobs. I'm like, you don't understand. We're living in a world where those jobs are already gone. We are just waiting to catch up to that point. There is going to be, if you look, some people say, oh, Rob, this isn't true. We're going to lose 80% of anybody working, if not more, maybe 90, of any job in the arts. It's gone. It's going to be completely eliminated. And the real question is, do we want to live in that world? And this is a question that's going to be probably the biggest question facing humanity, assuming we survive the next 10 years. Because we have to ask ourselves, what is our existence? What really gives us meaning? What are human beings going to fill their days with in 10 years when AI has taken over every endeavor that we do?
VHS porn.
No, because even that'll be AI generated. You already have AI generated porn now.
But let's bring it back to the topic at hand, though. I mean, like, so then where do we say the line gets drawn, right? So, for example, a great example of this is, remember that film Zodiac, right? Mm-hmm. I remember I was watching a making of it, and I was amazed to find out that some of the shots outside in front of the city weren't real. They actually
amazing visual effects in that movie.
Yeah, they built the green screen. They artificialed it in the background. Okay, that's interesting. Instead of using the real location, they did that, and that's fine, because as an audience member sitting in the crowd, I didn't care. I just cared that it was a great looking movie and it worked well. So the question then becomes, where does the line get drawn? Are we saying don't use any AI tools at all in making a movie? Are we saying it's okay to use AI tools to generate 10% of the movie, 50%? Or are we saying just embrace it all in a brouhaha? So like, Rob, if your feet were in the fire right now and they ask you, like, how is it okay to use any AI for anything? Is it only okay to use it for a certain percentage? Like, how would you feel about that right now as a filmmaker?
Well, see, the difference is, to me, what you're doing with AI is you're recreating every single thing in a frame. Like, you can watch those interview footage, whether that's the ape that's running along being interviewed, everything in that frame, from the natural backgrounds to fire to explosions to the ape and his voice, all of it's artificial. There's nothing in the frame that's real. Nothing. Not one thing. And not only that, one prompt has given you the background, the character, the dialogue, all of it. And so there is no tools there. AI is literally generating everything. And what's going to happen is, once you figure out how to keep continuity from shot to shot, like going from, say, a 50-50 to a 35 millimeter shot, you go from a wide angle lens to a close-up to whatever. Once you figure all that out, and AI will be able to do that soon, there will be no human involvement in the creation of all this other than prompts. None. Zero. So it's no longer a tool. We're not using it as a tool to make something. AI itself is making everything. And that is different. That's a place where we've never been before. And I'm not interested in that. I never want to lose, say, for instance, a real human face starring in a movie I would make. I never want to.
But let me, where do you draw the line then? Do you say, like, don't use AI at all in anything? And if you are to say you can use it in some places, what would be acceptable applications of it?
Well, the thing is, like, it's like what George Lucas was doing with The Phantom Menace. What AI is going to allow you to do is generate entire environments that you can have people walking on a green screen set, and I mean, we're already there already, but instead of, like, right now for the volume, you have to go have those backgrounds ready to go first. Mm-hmm. Like, now with AI, you don't have to. You can just call up whatever it is you want, and it will generate whatever it is you need. You don't even need a photographer to go out and take that picture of whatever that background's going to be. Everything will be, real time using whatever whatever AI generative engine they're going to have. And all you're going to need, you're not going to need a camera person. You're not going to need, and it just depends. How far do you want to go down that line? We're going to have to put up walls, and then eventually people are going to be like, you're going to have some 14-year-old kid making the next Lawrence of Arabia, what Coppola used to talk about. There's going to be a 12-year-old girl in the Midwest who makes the next Citizen Kane. Yes, and it'll be entirely AI generated. We are there.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? An Amazon-backed company is using AI to recreate 43 missing minutes from that Orson Welles classic. Is that exciting, or is that terrifying? How do you see AI being used or used properly? Should AI just be banned entirely? Or, like other digital tools that we've embraced as standard now in the industry, is there a place for it, but only certain place? And then how do you erect those walls? However you guys feel about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.